The point is, watch better movies. Death Wish 3. That's fucking right. Death Wish 3.
That's awesome.
Wait, doesn't Death Wish 2 take place in New York?
No,
so
it
does
takes
Death
place
Wish
in Los
1, right?
Angeles. Let me create the Death Wish timeline for you. So Death Wish 1, Charles Bronson's wife is murdered in New York City. And so he takes vengeance on the 6 gang members that he suspects killed his wife. Death Wish 2.
Don't forget that his daughter was also raped.
On the West Coast, he does a little West Coast Death Wish. So where do you go for Death Wish 3? Well, he doesn't have any more daughters. Wouldn't you know, he's plumb out of wife. But he does have an old war buddy and a good friend, even though it's never really established that he's like a war guy. He's just like an architect or something in the first
They
movie.
never establish how they know each other. Do they?
No, but
'Cause
he's
I
just
couldn't
like an
follow it.
old army buddy, whatever. But his buddy lives in the fictionalized 1980s New York that preys on like the classic anxieties of white people. People defend this movie and they say that it's not like deeply racist because it's literally like the United fucking Nations, these gangs, this gang that exists in this movie. It's every color of the fucking rainbow. But it's very telling that all the people that they are terrorizing are elderly white people.
Dude, because like every time they're having dinner, something happens. Did you notice that?
They do have
Oh,
murder
sure.
multiple
Anytime.
dinners.
What are those? Teeth.
And the Oscar goes to...
Which is big insane because the first time they have him over for dinner, he's like, "Hello, I'm Charles Bronson. Let's have dinner." And then they have like 2 bites of dinner. He walks outside to his car and shoots 2 men in the chest with a fucking magnum.
heart.
He walks back in and his buddy's like, Hey, what were you doing out there? He's like, "Sending a message." It's like, what the fuck?
That's when you're like, oh, okay, you want to get some dessert or something? Call the police, call the police, call the police. Like, that's when, is that the really good gun? Or is that, no, that's later.
Oh.
This is his snub nose. So
later when he busts out his big game elephant gun.
Okay, this is his regular gun. That
was
makes
that
it
the
normal.
second dinner?
This is his
So the first
normal
dinner-
magnum that he carries around. If they changed the title instead of Death Wish 3, it was called like Death Wish 20XX. The year is 2037. Lawlessness reigns supreme in New York. I would believe this was like a futuristic post-apocalyptic movie. There's nothing that would tell me else.
Sure.
It's just as like dystopian post-apocalyptic as any number of other movies from this era or any of. So yeah.
This movie is so fucking insanely violent that it's just, it reads so goddamn nuts. Everyone reacts with glee to every fucking maniacal thing that Bronson does.
It's about time. I'm glad he's dead. He took my...
It's written by people that have never actually been in a city or have any idea, like even in areas of high crime, like what the plight of the urban working class is. And that's fucking fine because again, if this movie had even the most tiniest inkling of a clue, it was hilarious as it is. It's just beautifully stupid.
Yeah.
And God, Bronson as an action hero. I mean, we talked about his sex appeal. I mean, and the basic plot is just that Bronson shows up. His buddy has been killed by this gang.
Take care of my things, will you? Till I get back.
And then the police show up and think Bronson did it, so they arrest him. But then somehow they figure out that he's Death Wish Charles Bronson, and they're like, okay, so what we're gonna do is, since you like killing people and we don't like want to do cop stuff, I guess we're just gonna let you go kill a bunch of motherfuckers and we won't arrest you and we'll take credit for it. And Bronson's like, okay. And then he just goes on this goofy ass killing spree.
It takes place in New York, and when Charles Bronson goes to jail and has to fight people in jail, he throws the big guy through the steel bars, and then
that's good.
This other guy's trying to wrestle him though, and I swear, am I losing my mind? It looks a lot like Bruno Sammartino. like a lot like Bruno Sammartino. Like the late 80s, he definitely would have looked like this and had a little bit of gray in his mouth.
Hey Joe, don't it make you want to go to war once more? Hey Joe, why the devil did we go to war before? What the hell for? We gotta get this country off of welfare. Back our boys and field.
What's going on that makes a movie like Joe a thing that is not only released in 1970 but wildly popular? We're talking about one of the most profitable movies of the 1970s. As soon as things start going, and it takes about 45 minutes for this movie to get anywhere.
Joe does not appear until 27 minutes in. Why is this movie called Joe? That's one thing we really need to talk about.
Like, this movie is called Joe. It is marketed like, okay, this is wrong. This is a wrong-headed mentality. We're making this movie about this psychotic conservative who wants to butcher hippies, and we're going to explore his mindset and how he's come to be this toxic and wrong-headed. But it can't get there because it hates the other side so fucking much.
Yeah.
Where'd it go, bitch? Tell me. Where did it go?
The picture was so such a low-budget movie and so inauspicious that I thought nobody would ever see it. So I just did everything I felt like doing with complete abandon.
Look at that. Nice, huh? I like to look at it once in a while. You like to look at it once in a while?
Yes, I like to look at it once in a while.
A little on the side once in a while?
Once in a while.
It helps, you know, so you don't resent the old lady so much.
Crashes into the Oscar class, a gripping piece of entertainment. Evening News, Edinburgh.
The entire film doesn't work for me on multiple levels because right away the daughter takes drugs that I guess she wanted to take but didn't want to take. She goes to find the drugs from her boyfriend and then he's like, here's the drugs, and she's like, thank you, and then he goes, yeah, take it, and then she's like, no, I don't want to take it. Like, there's just like scenes are really inconsistent. The thing that's very strange to me is that they go to her apartment and I don't know why. They say it's to collect her clothes. But why would they care? And because he goes there to pick up the clothes, the guy shows up and he says something about like, yeah,
you're not a groovy dude. And then he's just like, ah!
Okay, so what? I mean, the guy, again, with the tone, the guy, it's not exactly like I was fucking crying tears for his death. He's a huge piece of shit.
Yeah, he's fucking sucks. Not a good hippie.
I like how the guy does a huge dose of heroin in his arm. He just fucking jams it in. And then immediately, as Susan Sarandon's sitting there with him watching him do this, all right, let's make love. I'm like, I don't think that's how heroin. I'm no heroin expert, but I don't think you're like, all right, time to fuck.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
Ouch, that fucking radiator.
I like to kill one of them.
I just did.
Glad to hear it. Hey, you're serious.
The daughter goes missing because she hears, because for some reason they're bragging about the murder. They're just bragging how they got away with murder. And the daughter overhears that he murdered the boyfriend. So she runs away. And so they're trying to find her.
Screwing and grooving.
And the way they find her is to just go to a bar. And then some guy is like, hey, you want to turn a trick, you know, to this girl? And the girl's like, ew, no way. He goes over to them and he doesn't even offer to have her do anything. Instead offers to just asking if they have any grass, any weed. And they say yes. And because they say yes, they don't try and sell them grass. They invite them to a party where they can, what? And that's when the orgy starts and that's when guns start. And the final third of the movie is just riveting. I love it.
Like Peter Boyle's just like, what? I got on there, I pumped twice. It was great, wasn't it? She's like, nah, not really, no. And then the other girl was just like, not so great. And even
and then some other
even
girl
the
comes
other
in to
guy,
fuck
she's
him.
just like, I don't know. It's it's whatever. It doesn't make it.
They shit on your life. They shit on everything you believe in. They shit on everything. You're right now, Compton! It's your right now, Compton!
Are you gonna kill me too?
Listen up!
A very savage film. Very funny. Scores are trying.
The end.
But my favorite scene is where Miss Rodriguez is assaulted and murdered. And then they show up to the hospital, and this doctor, who obviously just understands, bedside manner, just looks the husband right in the eye and says, Miss Rodriguez has expired. No.
Yeah, like she's a carton of milk. Complications due to broken arming.
This is so awesome. Like, this movie is so rock dumb. Like, it's the same thing as the defense attorney again. Like, insane public defender who is probably 40 years younger than him, who just goes out of her way to look him up, drives up to his house in this fucking crater surrounded by a war-torn maniacs, and is like, oh, I just had to find you so we could fuck. Like, I just need to fuck you immediately.
What I love is that that woman and her tragic death scene is that he just goes, hey, I'm gonna go check my mail. And then she's like, okay, I'll be right here. And 3 seconds later, she's dead. Just
yeah. And we're like not at the point where he's not aware that they're after him. Like they are after him. They're at fucking full on war. And he's like, yep, mail. It's like, why?
I'm moving right along. Hey, Ellie, where have you gone?
And every once in a while, that shitty editing and the shitty direction and the shoddiness of the whole production really creeps in fun ways. Like when they realize, we don't really have much of an ending here. So again, we're going to spoil this one for you, but it doesn't really change anything because you know where this one's going. But Chekhov's rocket launcher that we are shown about halfway through makes an appearance in the final scene, wherein from like 5 feet away, Bronson blasts the main villain in the chest with the rocket launcher, blowing him through the wall, blowing up the whole wall. Bronson and the police chief are unscathed. It's fucking awesome. And then his corpse is just burning outside. And this is like, I mean, I'm explaining this like it's an extended scene. This is like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it just
boom,
ends. Bam, down, roll credits.
And then roll credits. And again, you're like, what are... I mean, it's Death Wish 3. You're like numb to the fact that it's not saying anything, but what an insane fucking note to end on, where the credits are just playing over the street, and it's just a burnt out husk. It's just playing over like 3
Leveled.
burning cars on an empty street. It's like, what?
What do you like?
I like opera.
Opera?
All that fucking
best
great
damn
dialogue.
movie on the face of the earth.
Did you really like opera? No.
Hey, he got her.
Because Bronson has like 3 lines in the entire movie.
No, guys,
it's like a Charles Bronson doll where you pull a string out of his back and he says like 1 of 7 famous lines, and that's all he repeats throughout the movie. You could levy any sort of cultural criticism against this movie under the sun, but unlike Joe, in which Peter Boyle is screaming the N-word and the movie sucks ass, this is probably like deeply racist and violent, and has the exact wrong message about vigilantism and violence and inner city life and everything else under the sun. But I'll give a fuck. This movie rocks.
At least it has the courtesy to be a fucking cartoon.
Exactly. This is like the Looney Tunes of goofy ass 80s action movies with wrong-headed politics. It is glorious.
All my life, I ain't never been to an orgy.
All right, guys, we got to wrap this thing up. We're going long. So, Myros.
The end.
Who paints?
I paint.